G-Roll Electronic Productions, baby.
Welcome. I'm JJ, the psychotherapist. Got some news on gun control, but before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out, get this information out there. Also, check out my Patreon, where we're building a community over there of like-minded individuals where we can discuss the news. And it's the link is for that is in the description. Also have a bunch of Let's Go Brandon t-shirts and sweaters and all that other stuff. The link for that is in the description also. All right, let's check it. Let's see what we got going on here. Massachusetts gun control legislation had no impact on violent crime rates. I wish I would have thought to pull up the study from the 90s that basically said the same thing. It was the Brady from the Brady bill under Clinton, had absolutely no impact. All these gun control bills actually don't help people, and several studies proven. This is just one of the latest studies. This is from Study Finds. You guys know I'm an avid researcher. While Congress has yet to pass nationwide gun control legislation measures, some states' legislatures have enacted stricter gun control laws aimed at reducing violence in their communities. However, a recent study finds gun laws in at least one state aren't doing that job. And again, a bunch of other older studies that basically said the same thing. A team of American University analyzed the impact of one such measure in Massachusetts and found stricter gun control checks and licensing policies made little to no difference in curbing violent crime. All it does is just stop law-abiding citizens from receiving guns. That's all this stuff does. It gets rid of protection. You're not gonna be able to defend yourself. That's all that does. I mean, it's plenty of videos, plenty of stories out there that show of people carrying guns, how they defend themselves. I remember one video. I wish I would have pulled this up prior to so I can show it. It was an Asian lady. She came from an Asian country. I don't know what country. And she worked at a restaurant, an Asian restaurant. And she basically lived in her boss' house because her boss had boxes and stuff in there. I think it was a Chinese restaurant or something like that. But she lived in the house, and people broke in to rob her, and she pulled out a gun and defended herself. I think it was like 2 or 3 men. She shot 2. One of them ran away. Saved her life basically. So and they want to stop people like that from defending themselves. They want the criminals to be able to come in and do what they want with you, and you won't be able to defend yourself. But the article goes on. It says gun violence remains at the forefront of public policy debate when it comes to enacting new or strengthening existing gun laws in the United States, explains study author Janice Awama, assistant professor of justice, law, and criminology at AU. In a media release, quote, yet the political polarization and relatively limited scholarly research on gun and gun violence make it difficult for policymakers and practitioners to enact and implement legislation that addresses the public health and safety issues associated with gun violence. And actually, a lot of states are getting rid of these strict gun laws. Places like Texas, where I'm at, where you can carry with no license or anything like that, as long as you're a law-abiding citizen. And they act. You heard the media was up in an uproar, act like this was going to be like the Wild West and all this other stuff, but none of that stuff is happening. How is Massachusetts cracking down on gun ownership? Massachusetts passed new background checks requirements for firearms sold at gun shows or through private sellers. Lawmakers also created changes to firearm regulations by adopting new gun licensing procedures in 2014. The new law went into effect in January 2015. Now, in regards to private sales at gun shows and stuff like that, it was a great on one of my favorite shows is Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It was an episode where 2 of them try to go in and buy guns at a gun show. They thought it'd be easier to buy guns. Well, first they went to a gun store and tried to buy a gun. Background checks came back negative. Came back where they can't get a gun. So they were like, okay, let's go to a gun show where they don't do background checks. And they went to try to purchase a gun and found out when you don't do a background check, they charge you an exorbitant price. So they weren't unable. They were unable to get guns. So, and that's how it is. I mean, if you go to a gun show, you're gonna pay more than what you would do if you go to a gun dealer. So I mean, it is what it is. And a lot of these guns that's on the street that are in crimes, all these guns aren't legal in the first place. So these gun control laws wouldn't prevent the criminals from getting guns in the first place. Only prevent you and I, people with no criminal record, from defending themselves. But the article goes on to say, to get an idea on how these gun access changes impact state crime, researchers analyzed changes in public safety statistics and trends, including violent crime in Massachusetts counties between 2006 and 2016. The team used the data from the Firearm Records Bureau for this work. The FRB is a state agency that keeps track of all licensing issues and records of firearm sales by gun dealers, as well as private transfers of weapons in Massachusetts. So, I mean, that's crazy. You got to keep track of if you sell someone your gun. From their models and additional data provided by the FBI were all used to predict counts of violent crimes. During the process, study authors accounted for factors such as the percentage of all denied applications, the percentage of denied applications due to unsuitability, and the percentage of denied applications due to statutory disqualification. Criminal records documented history of mental health issues, fugitive status across counties. Hey, what's up, Copper Skies? We got Copper Skies in here. Copper Skies said, like most left-wing policies, defund the police, etc., taking guns away from people is a feel-good, but also an authoritarian measure. Very authoritarian measure. Because think about it. What's the first thing that Hitler did? Took away people's guns, took away their rights to defend themselves. That's what they do. That's why China is so afraid of the United States, because they know we have a population with guns. We can defend ourselves. No consistent effect on crime rates. Using this approach, the research team was able to estimate, based on percentage of firearm licenses, that the 5% of adult Massachusetts residents had a gun license. However, results also showed the new gun control measures did not have a consistent effect on reducing 4 types of violent crimes: murder, or manslaughter, aggravated assault, robbery, or I'm gonna call it APAR, because we're on YouTube, so we'll call it APAR. Notably, a 1% increase in denied firearm licenses following statutory disqualifications increased robberies by 7.3 and 8.9% respectively, which is common sense. I mean, if a criminal know you don't have a gun on you because of the strict gun laws, they're gonna come in and commit these crimes because they know you're not gonna defend yourself. I mean, it's pretty common sense. So of course robbery is gonna go up when gun control go up. It's a positive correlation. That's what we call it in statistics, a positive correlation. Not because they're going up, but because they're going in the same direction. In statistics, whenever something is going in the same direction, it don't matter if it's going up, both of them going up, or both of them going down. It's considered a positive correlation, and that's what we have here: a positive correlation. More gun control equals increase in robberies. Positive correlation. In conclusion, study authors recommended that lawmakers revisited their legislation to ensure that state officials are implementing them properly and addressing any problems. Quote, it is important for policymakers, practitioners, and researchers to consider the magnitude of effects of their laws and how they may influence by different levels of enforcement in the state or by lack of enforcement in surrounding states. Professor Awama notes, this study is published in the Journal of Justice Quarterly, and that's a great point. These policymakers do not think about what happened when they implement these policies. I mean, for the most part, because I mean, most of it is common sense, but they don't deal in common sense. They don't deal in reason. They don't deal in logic. They deal in feelings, like Copper Skies alluded to. Yeah, All right, Corpus guys, I appreciate your input. I might come back up in a couple hours or so. I think I have another article I want to discuss, but we'll see. I got to see what my time look like. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Also, check out our Patreon. Sign up for Patreon, where we put out a bunch of content there. And also check out the t-shirts. The links for all of that stuff is in the description. Until next time, peace.